Welcome to Manawaker Studios Flash Fiction Podcast. I'm CB Derogi. This week, A Fish Out of Water by María Castro Domínguez. All the seats were full, except for one, near a fish. It was Tuesday, a holiday for most, but not for me. I always took the first ferry. It linked the islands in 80 minutes, and in a day I could visit my clients and be back in time for dinner with Serena. That arrangement pleased her. No overnight stays. Today the bus to the ferry bustled along rudely, arousing the sleeping streets, leaving the capital behind. The woman in the seat next to me was tall, a big Anna Karenina, and when I sat down I ended up squashed against the window, taking gulps of breath. Out of the corner of my eye I could see she had fins coming out like ears, and zigzags covered her skin-tight skirt, which ended in translucent frills. Her scent evoked seaside holidays, the tangle of salt, sea, and sun. Others also were on their way to the festivities. There were two monkeys behind me, a sexy nurse, and a pirate with a stuffed macaw perched on his shoulder 2 rows in front. It was our tradition that islanders swapped islands. It was August, the hottest month, and the air conditioning made fringes of water drip onto the aisle, making warm puddles instead of cooling the air inside. I unbuttoned my shirt and took a bottle from my briefcase. The woman next to me fidgeted. She waved her webbed-clad hands, used them like they were a Spanish fan. I wondered if I should say something, but before I'd even started, she snatched my water and splashed it over her, wetting my aquamarine trousers, giving me a peed look. "What the fuck? Cool down, will you?" I snapped, soaking up the mess with strong, furious strokes. Her eyes were like blue-stained windows. They shone at me. I felt weak, like I was losing control of my extremities, like I was in a trance. I focused on her costume. She had shell necklaces. Her hair mimicked seaweeds and covered her bare breasts. My heart jumped. "Quite realistic," I said to her neck, not risking the eyes again. "Your thingy-bob, I mean." "Glub," she blurted out. "Glub? What's glub?" She looked the other way, like she'd suddenly spotted a ship from a distance. I persisted. "Can you speak my language?" She pointed to the sea. I wasn't in the mood to continue, so I sat in silence. She hardly stirred. The bus was claustrophobic. My clammy arms, smothered against the window, kept on making sucking sounds like a plunger, and 2 flustered flies insisted on courting my eyes. The sky yawned and the new sun made floating puzzles on the roof. Finally, the barren road narrowed to the small fishing village, and the bus drew alongside the ship. I was about to turn my back on her when I heard some swishing. When I looked, I saw she was trying to move out of her seat. I offered my arm. We climbed the metal steps like an elderly couple, she leaning on me and me bent double. "Goodbye," I said, once aboard. But then I felt sorry and added, "Next time, choose an easier fancy dress, will you? Enjoy the carnivals." Her face now had the consistency of cracked desert sand. Her lips were blue, but she smiled a wide smile, an inviting smile. "Glubba," she said. "Glubba," I replied. I felt then that a clearing had opened. I understood her language. We had made connection. "Want a proper drink?" I asked. She shrugged. I joined the bar queue, ordered 2 beers, and drank mine there. I'd already had problems with women. Serena would never give me another opportunity, not after last time. When the loudspeaker announced departure, I closed my eyes, blinking out everything. I needed to think. After some minutes, the alarm bells went off. The ship's whistle blew 3 long blasts, notifying the crew on board. Everyone bounced up. Some stayed put, standing, and others screamed and moved in different directions, simulating a badly performed drill, until the mate shouted, "Man overboard on starboard!" What the fuck, I thought, taking her beer. I followed the crowd to the deck, keen to see what had happened. I just about could see, between a ballet dancer and a vampire, a frilly translucent crescent diving in the foam. This has been A Fish Out of Water, written by María Castro Domínguez. Flash Fiction Podcast is supported by Manawaker Studios patrons on Patreon, the voluntary pay-what-you-want subscription service. Patrons get perks like access to patron-only stories and behind-the-scenes info. Higher tiers grant a subscription to Manawaker Books, or even an honorary title within the studio. You can become a patron for only $1 a month, and every patron is greatly appreciated. For more information, visit patreon.com/Manawaker. For more information about Manawaker Studios' other projects, including books and games, visit manawaker.com, which is also where you should go to learn more about the authors featured on this podcast or to get details about submitting a story. The Flash Fiction Podcast theme song is by Kevin MacLeod. Manawaker Studios' director of DICE is Ben Baston. I'm CB Droege. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at CBDROEGE. Thanks for listening.